Hi, folks. I'm Jamie Hiles.
I'm Lydia Judy.
D-Rock. Here for another episode of Who's Your Daddy?
Whoa, that's not the name of the show. It's actually Screen Bloody Movies. And D-Rock is in the house today, I guess. Raise your roofs, collectively. How are you guys doing today? D-Rock is obviously on one.
Yeah. I'm doing good.
How about
Going
you?
to... Sorry.
Oh, man.
No, go ahead. What do you...
I was just going to say we're going to go pick up our puppy tomorrow from puppy boot camp, and I'm really excited because I missed him for 2 weeks. So I'm anxious, but excited. Hopefully he's a better dog now.
How about you, D-Rock?
Well, let me tell you a story about a 6-year-old who decided he was going to poop his pants multiple times today. So I've had a bit of a shitty day, but that's okay. I still love my son, and that's the important part.
Yes.
Can't wait till he's 25 and he watches
Once
this
you
episode.
Wipe the poop away. No, but I still love the little rascal.
Wow.
One of those days.
One of those days.
About you, Jamie?
D-Rock and the Rascal. Yeah. That sounds like a new fucking song, new band. Hit band, D-Rock and the Rascal. I'm good, guys. I'm good to go. Getting ready to, we're still working on the movie. We're getting ready to put that scene out here soon so you guys can watch it and we can raise some money for the rest of this thing. You guys are going to love it. It's cutting together really great, right, Derek? It's really good to go. But that's not why we're here today. That'll be why we're here probably in a couple weeks when we share that with you lovely people. Right now, we're here to talk about Mel Brooks' Dracula Dead and Loving It. But even before we get into that, we've got to hit up a little bit of that, what is it, Derek? Wicca horror news. That's from D-Rock.
That was not from me. I had nothing to do with that, just so everybody knows. That was 100% just Jamie.
That's weird. I got a text. You said, hey, do the beatbox, the wicca.
Wicca,
Right,
wicca. Yeah.
Oh, my God. Let's
My
get into this horror
contribution
news.
to life.
Let's start with the first bit that we have, which is the biggest bit. I'm sure did you guys watch it today? Did you guys see the Beetlejuice trailer? Is out today.
Is it?
Lydia,
Yes.
you didn't see that?
I didn't see it.
What did you
Yes,
think
I
of it,
did.
Derek?
I saw it.
What did you think of it?
Definitely took me back. It looked good.
Yeah, I think it looks good.
Yeah.
I think it looks like Beetlejuice, right?
Yeah, I love anything Michael Keaton does. That guy is just like amazing.
Yeah. He is great.
I love the mom. Cause she like
Yeah, Catherine O'Hara.
could you-
Yeah, she's
yeah,
brilliant.
could you imagine having played a character 30 years ago and then having to like get back in that mind frame to replay that character? And she's awesome in all the stuff she does, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
We'll
looks,
be watching
looks
that
fun.
one.
We're going to watch it. Also came out, it's not horror-related news, but it's actually funny that they both, 2 trailers dropped today, because also Beverly Hills Cop 4, Axel F, dropped today. And guys, I'm not going to lie, it looks like a straight-up banger. Like,
I
I
did
haven't
see
been
that.
able to watch that one.
dude, did you watch that one, Lydia?
Yeah.
Dude, I was shocked about how good the trailer looked. Like, it opens like a helicopter chase, and I'm just like,
Yeah. Me too.
and a
I
bunch
was like,
of
what is
funny
this?
lines, good looking action. It looks like Beverly Hills Cop movie, like the way it's shot. I was like, okay, I guess I'm in for that.
Yeah.
So,
I need to
yeah.
go back and watch the first ones. Are there 2 of them?
There's 3.
3 of them?
Yep. The first one is excellent. The second one's really good. The third one, meh. Meh. It's the weakest for sure. But, All right. But so Beetlejuice, Lydia, you got to watch the trailer and let us know what you think, because I think you'll like it.
Yes. I'm sure I will.
Also, remember last week we talked about the Jason universe. Remember this?
Mm-hmm.
We spoke on
Yes.
the Jason universe. Well, we have our first activity from the Jason universe, guys, and it's not what you were expecting at all. It is Jason Voorhees slashes his way into the WB video game Multiverses. So it's like some kind of like video game, like I'll show it to you, but this is our first Jason stuff. It's like one of these kind of video games. It's a free-to-play platform fighter. But here's what Jason looks like in it.
Whoa. Well,
What are you guys' thoughts?
I'm just gonna rewind the tape back to my assessment that this was a money grab. Obviously it was, but anyway. I don't know. I've not heard of that one. Maybe it's pretty cool. I'll have to.
I've not heard of it either, but it is kind of like it's a free download for PS5, PS4, Xbox, and Xbox One. So I mean, we could download it and check it out, but it's like, I mean, that's not what we're wanting, guys. We're wanting
like it
Jason
looks
movies.
fun. It looks
Yeah.
fun. It looks fine, but it's not like. It's like there are a ton of other characters that everybody loves. Like, he's not, like, the star of it.
Yeah, and then Sean Cunningham was interviewed recently, and he said, and let's hope that this is way off base, but he said that a new movie is something like 2 to 3 years away. Because of, get this, because of basically the budget for the movie and stuff. It'd be hard to get it together. I was like, Sean, do you know what fucking Friday the 13th movies are?
Right? It's like low budget. Like, just do it.
Well,
Just do
yeah,
it.
not in, we could even look up what the last one cost. It was not a, like, fucking Marvel movie, man. Come on.
Yeah. And you're
And,
not going to
I
have
mean,
trouble distributing it.
Yeah. I mean, give me a break. That's a...
Hang
Maybe
on, I'm
if
going to
I
actually
won
look
the
up and see
lottery.
what that budget was, Derek.
Yeah, if I win the,
The budget-
Powerball, we're going to offer him money.
The budget was $19 million. So, in the grand scheme of things, not very much for... And that's a high-end one. All of their classic ones were $2 to $3 million movies.
Yeah.
You know? It's not like you need a ton of... Most of your money needs to be spent on effects and, bringing in some actors. But you don't need to, bring in superstars. And you don't need crazy locations. You know what you need? Woods and a lake. And
Yeah, exactly.
Jason
Fucking-
Voorhees with an axe.
Jason
gore.
Voorhees killing people.
machete.
Exactly.
Like get some buckets of blood in there, and then you're good.
You're good to go. I mean, look, I get people want to some people talk about how they want more out of it, but let's not kid ourselves.
What
Friday
more
the
could you
13th
get
is
out of
Friday
it?
the 13th. What more do you
They put
need?
them- Yeah, they
Yeah.
put the motherfucker in space.
Yeah, we don't need Citizen Kane here, guys. We need a good, fun slasher movie where we get to see our favorite character on screen doing what he does best, right?
I'm going to throw it out there. They could set this movie. Just hear me out, okay? In a post-apocalyptic
Oh
world
my god!
where Gabriel has to go to Crystal Lake
My god!
and take on Jason to save humanity.
Okay,
What do you
Derek.
guys think?
Besides it being batshit crazy and probably not good, the biggest problem is this. We just talked about it being lower budget. If you bring in a whole other horror franchise with it and attach
that's-
James Wan to it,
That's
That
okay
budget's
because
going
now
up,
you've
up,
got
up.
now you've got two characters and it would work. I'm telling you, this is a
Yeah,
gold mine.
you're right.
It's gonna
I mean,
happen.
I will say Malignant has the hugest following.
It's on its way. It's on its way. I mean, I would say
Yeah,
that they
big
could try to get Lumberjack Man, but I mean,
Oh my god, please stop.
let's bring it back down to reality, okay?
Okay.
You know what's funny? Speaking of James Wan, guys, I hate to mention this.
What?
James Wan's producing a. Sorry, producing a horror reboot of the Munsters called 1313.
Fuck,
Just-
man.
Leave it alone. Just leave it alone.
Really? Oh no! Now we have to follow this forever.
It says it's a brand new small screen reboot of the iconic television series. He's not doing it himself. It's his company, Atomic Monster, is. And it says that it's said to be a reimagining of the 1964 classic sitcom, The Munsters, that lives and breathes within the Universal Monsterverse. Lindsay Anderson Bear, oh no, who did
What?
we haven't seen it yet, but that's done the Pet Cemetery Bloodlines, will serve as the showrunner for 1313. She is saying basically that it's let's see, where is it? Are they supposed to this reboot? One of the things I heard that it's going to be like more darker. A darker. We don't need a dark Munsters, you guys. We need the Munsters to be the Munsters. Yeah. So it's dark reimagining.
You know what?
What are you guys' thoughts?
It can't be that bad.
Lydia.
That's what you said about the travesty that is Rob Zombie's Munsters.
I know, but I have so much confidence that nothing could be worse than that.
Dude, this sounds
Pretty hard
horrible
to
to
make
me.
a-
Really?
This sounds atrocious to me.
No, worse
Why?
than Rob Zombies.
Well,
I mean,
probably
come
not
on.
quality-wise, because I will say this about Rob Zombies: as bad as the movie was, at least he was aiming towards the fun camp that a Munsters movie should be, a Munster show should be. I don't want to see a dark Munsters movie.
I'll take a dark.
That's not what they
over-
are. No, I hate when they just make everything dark. They're like, oh, fucking dark reimagining with Scooby-Doo. You're like, get the fuck out of here. Nobody wants to see that.
Dude, I've got a great idea for Scooby-Doo!
Shut up. He's not meeting Gabriel in the post-apocalyptic world.
No, that's not what I was gonna say, but that's also a really good idea. We should write that one down. Dude, I've got this really cool idea about, like, the gang in high school and, like, them coming together to form Mystery Inc. Like, but, you know, like, in the
They
very
had
beginning,
that.
they-
Actually, they made that movie. They just never released it. It was called Scoob.
No, it would be a TV show, man. It would be a TV... No, I'd give this thing room to breathe. I'm not gonna constrain it. It'd be live action.
Okay, anyway, I don't know why we're talking about Scooby-Doo.
We'll get Andy,
anyways.
Sakar, Andy, what?
Circus?
Circus to play Scooby-Doo. What do you guys think?
So, I think I'm going to pass on this and 1313.
You're
What's next?
Just...
Next.
Oh, yes. Speaking of other unnecessary shit, guys, I'm in one today. I'm on one. All right. It's been announced that Christian Slater is starring in a prequel series to Dexter called Dexter Origins.
What?
Still kicking?
Dexter's
What?
Lab?
Yeah, Christian Slater, of course, is kicking. He's not that old. Jesus Christ. He's playing Henry. He's playing Dexter's father, and it takes place in Miami in 1991.
Huh?
What are your thoughts on this?
My thoughts are, huh?
How did the Dexter reboot do?
Probably not that good.
What do you mean the reboot? Like the new thing?
Yeah, is it still going?
No, it only ran one season. It ended the story.
Oh.
Yeah, it ended the story. That's why we have a prequel.
Yeah, man, I don't know.
Yeah,
I-
I say.
Yeah. The first 5 to 6 seasons of Dexter are great. Really superb stuff.
Who played Henry?
In the show? I don't
Yeah.
remember.
I can picture the guy's name. I can even
Yeah.
hear his voice. It's very...
That's someone good, right?
Yeah. It's hang on.
While he's doing
It
that,
is
I will
James
never-
Remar. Duh. Yes, James Remar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Wait a
will
second.
never forget when I was like, guys.
Oh my God.
Carrie.
Yeah.
So I'd never seen Dexter, and mine was different. So like,
Kind of.
in a couple, it kind of what? Well, so like where he's a bladderologist.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what the technical term is. So like my guy was a like an FBI agent or like somebody within the intelligence agency who like tracked serial killers. I was telling like Jamie and Carrie this. I was like, I got a great idea for a movie, and like this guy, he tracks serial killers, but then once he like he finds them, then he takes them, and like his way of letting out his beast is to like kill them. And Carrie's like Dexter, and I was like, what? What is Dexter? And she started, and I was like, I mean, I can see some similarities, but no.
Like the plot.
I mean, he has a code,
Like exactly
but
like Dexter.
Yeah,
but
it's
I'd never
exactly
seen
like
it
Dexter.
anyway.
Yeah.
It was not
He,
exactly like Dexter. It was a
There's
little
another
different,
one you had where you were like talking about this, like you're like, what about this guy that's a police officer and he like basically he like kills criminals or whatever, but then he like breaks his code and accidentally kills an innocent person. And he's like, it's struggling with if he should end himself. And I was like, Derek, that's the Punisher.
I don't remember that one. I don't. Think
That's
that
like
was-
literally the Punisher. I remember we were at my mom's and we were playing Madden when you mentioned this one to me.
Were we drinking?
Probably, yeah. Well, we were playing Madden,
Okay, then.
so
Then that
We were
could
college
definitely
kids.
Have been.
yeah.
College kids.
And you're like,
College kids.
So that's why Derek keeps having all these terrible movie ideas because he like used up all the good ones and they were already movies.
yeah,
Lydia,
yeah.
that's so mean. All my ideas are awesome.
He actually did have a couple of good ideas that we've turned into projects. Secondhand Smoke was, well, not
Maybe
secondhand. What was the one?
inspired by me because I've
Was
got a
inspired by
crazy
Derek,
phobia.
his phobia of cigarettes. So I guess he didn't come up with the
It was
plot.
the
but
one where the guy kills a kid's mom and he doesn't realize that the kid was actually at the house and he like I forget
right,
what we called
it's
it.
part of the It's one of the anthology.
Yes.
We'll talk about it when we
Yeah.
get into the anthology.
Yep.
But so, by the way, guys, we wrote an anthology horror movie that's going to be made one of these days. So, just decided to slip that in there now. After we make Secret Admirer, Ghost Talk, and Tormentor, we'll get to that one. Okay, this took me by surprise, guys, because I didn't know this.
The rebooting RoboCop.
No, thank fucking
Shot in
Christ
the Dark.
not. There's a new Insidious movie coming out.
Really?
It's coming
Oh, gosh.
out on August 29th, 2025. It's called... So this one is not the spin-off that's been announced. We don't really know much more about it except that we have a release date for a new Insidious movie. Because there's a spin-off that was announced that's starring Mandy Moore in Kumail Nanjiani that is coming out called Thread: An Insidious Tale. But
What?
that's not this. Yeah, I don't know how we missed that in our horror news, but we probably talked about it. It was a year ago. This is the
I would
first
have
spin-off.
remembered it because I have a crush on Mandy Moore, so we definitely.
The
never
story
talked about
here is that of a husband and wife who enlist the help of a spell to travel back in time, such that they can prevent the death of their young daughter. The consequences prove to be severe.
it. I'd do it.
So
I-
that's that plot of the
to
spin-off.
hell
But
with the consequence.
But we have another this Insidious movie coming out that I didn't even know was a thing.
That's awesome. I haven't even seen the last one that came out.
Yeah, I watched it. I'm not going to tell you what I think about it because we're going to talk about it on here eventually.
That was the one where the kid went to college, right?
Correct.
And it was directed by
yeah.
what's his
Patrick
yeah.
Wilson. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I wanted
Yeah.
to watch it just to
Yeah,
support
it's.
the
I mean,
franchise.
I mean, I'm not going to give you my review of it, but it's worth watching.
Okay.
That I'll say.
Good.
And then finally, this is just a little bit of thing, but I wanted to share it because Lydia, you'll love this.
Okay.
And since, in honor of Vampire Month that we've had so far, check out this Christopher Lee Horror of Dracula figure from NECA.
Oh dang! Look at that.
That's
That's awesome.
that's incredible, right?
That
I
is
mean, look,
pretty
has
cool, actually.
several other heads.
It's so intense. It looks so
Christopher
good.
Lee's the man, dude. Christopher Lee's the man.
Yeah. Perfect for
Yeah.
tonight's episode.
Perfect in general. I'm gonna buy this when it comes out. What do you think? Beautiful, right?
Awesome.
It is really cool.
We'll have to hit up Christopher Lee eventually here, one of these days. I mean, May's been Vampire Month, and it's my pick, so it's up to me to decide if I want to continue Vampire Month or move on to greener pastures. We'll see. All right, but first, I know now you guys your brains are thinking, did he say greener pastures because is that a reference to a movie that we're watching,
Is
or
that
did he
a
just say it
clue?
because that's a thing? Is that a clue? What's going on? You will never know. Well, you will at the end of the episode, but stay tuned.
Children of the Corn.
Children of the Deep.
In the tall grass.
Children of Thanos.
Children of the Deep is about it's about the Bermuda Triangle,
Is it?
where children walk around it. Gabriel is there. It's in the post-apocalypse.
Oh yeah.
All right, guys, let's get into the. By the way, like my nightmare shirt. That's
Okay.
the other one piece of news I was going to mention. We actually are finally somewhat getting. Well, we are getting, not us, the world though, is getting a new Nightmare on Elm Street 4K. It's finally hitting 4K in the UK.
Nice. Oh.
But it's region free, so we can order it and we can watch it. I'm sure America will get one soon. I hope. I mean, I've been watching my decent Blu-rays for way too long now. I need a 4K transfer of my, one of my favorite horror franchises. All right, guys, picture it. It's 1995. Derek's in his teens.
I am not. I'm 12. I'm 12. 12.
Lydia is an infant. And I'm a perfectly acceptable age to not be too old when this movie comes out.
The low bar.
And there we are. Mel Brooks is Dracula, Dead and Loving It. This comes out several years after, of course, Bram Stoker's Dracula. So we have references to that, but mostly this is a parody of the original Dracula. And, of course, there's some Hammer Dracula portions in it as well. Guys, is this either of yours first time watching this?
Me.
Oh, this was your first time.
My
Really?
first time watching
Interesting.
this. Yeah.
So you never
Question.
you never seen of it?
I've never seen it. No.
You never
I
even
have a
heard of it?
question.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
Oh.
Just never was on my list of gotta watch that.
You should always watch any Leslie Nielsen movie. Should be on everyone's list. What were you going to say, Derek?
So, Lydia, since this is your first time watching it, are you either a Leslie Nielsen fan or a Mel Brooks fan? Or do you like...
Yeah, I would say I'm a fan of both of them.
Okay.
Not like mega fan or anything, but like
No, but-
I think they're funny and enjoy their stuff, I guess. Casually.
Listen, I have the 12-disc Mel Brooks collection. Just to forewarn you guys about
So
my
you're
love
saying
of
you
Mel
watch
Brooks.
this in like 4K or something?
No, it's not on 4K.
100%
It's only on
in
Blu-ray.
color? Don't even go there.
So
Don't
only
go
on
there.
Blu-ray. Derek, you've seen this movie. When was the first time you watched it?
Oh man, I have no idea. I haven't seen this movie in like 30 years. Well, I guess it would be more like, yeah, it'd be like,
29.
that would have made
Yeah.
me 12. Yeah, I mean, it's got to be like at least 25 years. It's been a long time since I've seen this movie. Pretty
So-
much a first watch at this point.
So check this out, guys. I remember exactly where I was when I watched this. I remember about the second and third time I watched this. And I remember just recently I rewatched this a couple years back or so. Because it was on Netflix or something. And then this watch, obviously. But I remember I saw the trailers for this movie. And I desperately wanted to see it in the theaters. I mean, desperately. I'm 9 years old at this point. 9 years old. Desperately want to see it because I love Leslie Nielsen. I think Leslie Nielsen is the greatest. I love all the naked guns. You know, I love Airplane. I'm like, yeah. And I love Mel Brooks. I love Young Frankenstein. I'm like, I want to see this. Robin Hood Men in Tights. I just love Mel Brooks. So, Spaceballs. And so, I didn't get to see it in theaters. Didn't get to see it. It never came to our hometown, so I never got to watch it. But when it came out on VHS, you better believe we rented it as soon as it came out. I remember running to the video store, and I grabbed it. I'm like, Mom! And I remember taking it home, so it was like a year later, so I was probably 10. Put it in and watch it, and I, loved it. I was a kid. And then it would be on, like, HBO all the time, so I'd watch it every single time it was on. And I would talk to Dad about it. I'm like, the bat! And I'm talking about Leslie Nielsen's head on a bat, and how that's the fucking peak of comedy. Because it is really funny, by the way.
No,
but
it is funny.
That was the peak of comedy for me. I'm like, so, good or bad, whatever you guys think about this movie, I'm not going to be able to be completely impartial because I have just a deep nostalgic love for this movie, and I see its faults. Don't get me wrong, of course I do, but I also see its strengths, and I have this love of this movie. So let's start with this. So, Derek, when's the last time you've watched Todd Browning's Dracula?
Who?
1931.
I've never seen it. The only clip I've seen is the one that we put on for the opening to one of our movies.
Oh, okay. Lydia, when's the last time you watched Dracula?
Like the Bela Lugosi Dracula?
Correct.
Yeah, we watched it on this podcast, didn't we?
No, we have not watched it.
Oh, okay, I must be thinking about
We watched Wolfman and Frankenstein.
I watched Dracula probably at least once a year.
Okay. So here's the thing. Your enjoyment for this movie will raise significantly if you're familiar with Todd Browning's Dracula. Because this movie is a love letter to Todd Browning's Dracula.
Yes.
From the opening
I should've worn my
scene.
Dracula shirt. Oh, dang it.
From the opening scene, the set design is beautiful, surprisingly, in this movie. Like, it looks great. But the best is the small bits for me. So the actor that's playing the guy that says, no, you mustn't go there,
Yes.
does
dude.
such a spot-on impression of the fucking guy from the 31 movie. It killed me. I was just like, oh my god.
Yes. Yes. It's so funny, too, like, because he's got this long mustache and he's, like,
same
shaking.
mustache? Yeah.
Oh
You
man, I
mustn't
missed
go.
it. I was gonna get on here and go. Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
So the opening of this movie is pretty great, and
It is really
because
good.
it kind of sets a good tone, but you kind of get that immediately. And guys, Peter McNichol as Renfield is fucking great in this movie.
Spot on, dude. He's
Perfect,
awesome.
man. He's perfect. That was the perfect
He's-
casting.
He's
I
so
agree.
funny.
He's
He's
great.
so funny. Like he's perfect. Yeah, I mean, it's like they got Dwight Fry from the grave, brought him back because
Yes,
he does such a
dude.
good impression.
He's my favorite. I love him. And I was like, oh my gosh, he does such a good job as like that character. So
He d-
cool.
He does. Yeah, it's great. So let's talk about, I guess, since it's a comedy, and we had to kind of just talk about set pieces and funny bits, I guess, right? So, like,
Yeah.
well, first let's talk about the cast, because we have Leslie Nielsen as the Count. What do you guys think of Leslie Nielsen as Count Dracula?
He looks so good, honestly. He does amazing.
Yeah, he's so
He's
funny.
so funny. He's so funny. But he also, like, he would have made an actual good Dracula, I think.
A good straight Dracula. Yeah, I agree. The scene where he's holding up Jonathan Harker and he's, like, yelling at him is actually pretty, like, he looks pretty scary. I was like,
Yeah.
there's some real Dracula in there, huh?
Yes, dude. And he looks just slightly similar. Like, he's like a mix of Bela Lugosi and Christopher Lee.
Yeah, because of his hair.
Like, he's kind of a mix of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he's great. I think he looks great. And he puts in a great performance. He's funny. We have, of course, Mel Brooks as Van Helsing, who's hysterical in it. I love his Van Helsing. Just
Yeah.
just this fucking weirdo, that has like a rivalry with Dracula immediately.
Oh my gosh, they're
You have Steven Weber as Jonathan Harker, who's fine.
yeah.
He does okay. Your two female leads are great.
Oh man,
Especially
I had a thing for Amy.
Amy Yesbeck.
Yesbeck?
She is Maid Marian. She's Maid Marian from Robin
Oh,
Hood
I
Men in
know.
Tights.
I
Yeah.
know.
Had a crush on her then.
She was
crush
in,
on her now.
Yep, I loved her in the Problem Child
Mm-hmm.
series. She was
Yep.
in that,
Yeah.
and
She's
yeah.
great.
And she's
And
yeah,
the
so
the
pretty.
other Lysette Anthony is great too. But guys, the real MVP of the movie is Harvey Korman as Professor Seward. He's so funny. He's just so funny, effortlessly. And the fact that he just wants to give everybody an enema is so
An
stupid
enema.
and so funny. I laugh every time he says it. And he's like, lock him up and give him a you-know-what. No! No, not another enema. Yes, again and again until he behaves.
Well, I love
After
how he was
Lucy-
like, give him an enema and then put him in a straitjacket. Actually, put him in a straitjacket and then give him an enema.
Yeah. I love when he says when they're trying to figure out the bite on Lucy and what caused it, and he says, "Should we try giving her an enema?" And Van Helsing just looks at her at him like, "No, it's not gonna help." Harvey Korman, of course, is like an all-time comic actor. Cara Burnett show, of course, Blazing Saddles. He's an all-timer. So seeing him in this was a treat. I forgot I knew he was in it, but as soon as he popped up on screen, I was like, yes.
See, I'm not
So-
super familiar with him, so I was like, who is this guy?
Oh,
And I was
God.
like, he is such a presence.
Yes.
Like, he really is. I'm like, and he genuinely, he's so believable. Like, I was like, he really is this guy. Like, he made me, like, fall into the movie, like, more than just a comedy.
Yeah, he's
But
great.
it's just
He's great.
because I don't really know him, so I was, like, able to, like, just see that he was, like, so
Watch-
seriously acting.
You need to watch. Your homework is to watch Blazing Saddles, because you'll get any of the Cara Burnett show, because you'll see all the fun outtakes where he just cracks up. It's the best. But let's talk about set pieces here. So the first set piece at the castle, we get a couple of
Yes.
pretty good jokes, I think. Right. So our introduction to Dracula is pretty fun, right?
Yeah.
When he falls down the stairs, and then
Dude,
his-
as soon as I saw the spider web, I was like, like my heart like skipped a beat. I was so happy. I was like, the spider web.
Yeah, spider web. And so when he freaking falls down the stairs, and then it pans over to the shadow holding his back, because he's like, it'll take a
Yeah.
lot more than that to hurt me.
The shadow's like, oh.
Yeah. And then the spider web, Lydia.
Yes.
So funny. He just gets caught in it. I actually chuckled pretty good when he just can't get it off of him. He walks in the
I
next
would
room
have
and still has it.
looking for that spider. That's a huge ass spider web.
Dude, when
Yes.
he walks in, when he walks back into the room and he's still trying to get it off, and he's telling Dracula all about it. Leslie Nielsen's line delivery of Renfield, I don't care. It's so funny.
Yeah.
He definitely does.
Dude, when he cuts his finger in the blood
Oh
scene,
my God.
really made me laugh because it's just spraying everywhere. I'm like, oh my god. He's trying to get it. It's like spraying all
Spraying
over.
it on himself.
Dracula's just like.
Oh no. That's so funny.
Yes.
Oh.
So, and then I also love the bit where he's trying to, mind warp him, and he's like, "You're getting very sleep." Renfield, I wasn't done talking to you. He gets to keep
Oh my
waking
gosh.
him up.
Dude, that is honestly my favorite bit of the whole movie is just how, like, the hypnotizing never goes right.
It's so funny. It's so funny. The scene with the I think the best one. I mean, the one where they're in the room is really funny too. But I think
Yeah.
with the woman when he's trying to get her
The
to
usher.
introduce him is so funny
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
love when he's like, and you'll forget everything. And when she walks back and he goes, what? Why did you not tell him? For that you're getting no tip. No tip? Ah, you remember that.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the
Yeah.
button on the scene when she comes back in as he's about to introduce himself, his look on his face, like, you have an up.
It cuts him off. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's so funny.
What are some of your guys' favorite bits? Move on down, whatever you guys want to talk about.
Dude, I loved the hair bit. Every time it happened.
The hair
That
bit.
hair bit just, wow, will you hold
Yeah.
my hat? Actually, my hair.
Yeah, that is funny. The first time he does it, when we see him and he has like the Dracula butt hair,
Yes.
and then he
Yeah.
just takes it off and hangs it on the hat rack. I laughed. I'm like, that's funny. That's a good bit.
Dude, that's what kind of got me because I was like, I didn't realize what year this movie came out. Like, I thought it was much earlier. For some, like, I don't know. I guess I don't have a good timeline of like his movies. You
Yeah.
know, like Blazing.
This is one of his.
Blazing
This last
Saddles
movie he
come out?
directed, actually, is this one. This was the last movie Mel Brooks has directed.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just confused me. I was like, when did this come out? Because this is like, the hair is like from the '90s movie.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what? And then like there were some effects that I was like, oh well, this is clearly like from the '90s.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, the hair was so funny. I was like not expecting that.
The bit where after he speaks to Mina, and she has the door open, and she like tries to seduce him through the window, and he goes to fly in, and he has the bat, Leslie Nielsen's head on the bat, and he
Oh my
smashes into the
gosh.
window. Always makes me laugh. But the scene that makes me laugh harder is when he is on the ceiling, and they come in to check, and he said, "Oh, there's something wrong with this latch. I'll give it a good slam." Huh? And he slams it, and he just fucking face plants. It makes me laugh every time. I don't know. I'm easy. I'm like, that's a
Pretty
good bit.
funny, yeah.
Yeah. No, I love the
the-
bat scenes, every one of them.
Yeah.
Especially
The bat, oh
last
my
bat
gosh.
scene, but
So funny. So funny.
Yeah. So the bit where Renfield is meeting with Dr. Seward, and he's eating the bugs.
oh man.
Yeah.
What do you think
Yeah,
of that
that was
scene,
great.
Lydia?
Dude, that was so funny. Like, I did not expect his reactions to be like, did you just... It kind of looked like you just picked up a bug. No, it was must have been a raspberry.
Yeah.
We're not serving raspberries. Oh, it's a raisin. It fell off in this
raisin.
muffin. Look, missing right here.
And then a spider comes down next to him and he's like...
I love when the freaking when the
The grasshopper.
he just throws his fork,
I dropped my fork. No, you didn't. You threw it.
and then he's underneath the table, and he's like, "Well, I don't know," and it's sticking out of his freaking mouth.
like wiggling its leg.
He's like, I can see it begging for its poor life. So good. Yeah. It's a great bit, too. So our plot, basically, because we haven't talked about plot in this, because the plot is essentially Dracula. It's Dracula. It follows all the same beats of the 31 film. You know, he gets Carfax Abbey, he gets Mina, and basically drains her alive, kills her, and then he goes after Lucy to make her part of his bride for the undead. That's the plot. But just all the silly stuff ensues through the plot. When what do you guys think of Van Helsing's first scene when we see him with the medical students?
Oh, it's great. Because his goal is to just make them all queasy and queasy and drop out. And the one guy's like, "I'm still here," and he's like, "Oh, come here. We need the brain now."
The best bit is when he says, "I'm still here," and he goes, like you just see the disappointment. Damn it. And then when she comes in, she's like, "Oh, Professor, 10 out of 10. I still got it."
Yeah.
So when he comes to investigate, and he's like, "Okay, we got to do this. We got to get the garlic, right? We got to get the garlic out of here, and we got to put her in garlic so that way Dracula can't get it." And Dracula opens up the window and he goes,
yeah. The noise he makes is so funny.
Renfield. And dude, when he talks to Renfield, he's hanging upside down, and Renfield gets upside down to talk to him. It's so funny. 'Cause Dracula's
like,
giving this long speech. He's like about how he's fought and crushed many enemies over the centuries, and then Renfield passes out basically because he's got a head rush. So dumb. So silly.
And when he flies like with his wings, he like flies off the building and lands like gracefully, and then he's like, "Come, Renfield," and he like jumps out the window. And he's like, "I fly, you don't fly."
Yeah, I don't fly. He flies. Yeah, the way he hits it, he's like, "I meant for you to climb down the drain pipe." Let's talk about Dracula's daymare.
Oh my gosh,
man.
that got me. I was like, what is happening?
Excuse me, would you care if I tried your chicken?
Yeah. I never drink wine. But what the heck, I'll give it a shot. It's good.
That's such a classic line. I was like, there it is. And then I was like, of course they're going to have a drink. And he wakes up, and I'm just like, he was dreaming. That is such a clever thing. So silly.
And the fact that it's called a daymare is so funny.
A daymare.
Yeah.
I was having a daymare.
I was having a daymare. Freaking when he sends Renfield in to the garlic place, or to get the garlic, and he looks under the sheet and gets caught and everything. He's like, "I didn't see anything. I saw everything." So dumb.
That is so dumb. I was like, oh my gosh.
So Lucy, of course, dies because that's what happens, and she becomes the woman in white, and we get actually a horror scene where where the worker gets attacked. That's actually played like a horror scene. It's played straight.
Yeah.
But then it gets silly right afterwards, of course, because Van Helsing's like, we need to keep watch over it because she's going to rise from the dead. So Jonathan Harker decides to keep watch with him. He goes to keep watch, and he gets attacked by her. Excuse me, guys. Sorry.
Bless you.
Thank you. He gets attacked by her, and she's, of course, trying to seduce him. And we get the steak scene. Lydia, Derek, what do you guys think of this? What did you guys think? Do you remember this scene, Derek?
No, I didn't remember.
Oh, my God.
I don't know, vaguely, maybe, a tad bit. But I loved when Van Helsing was like, wait! And he runs over to the side. And then he, like, stakes him, and it's like a gusher.
Yeah.
Oh, she's still alive! Or undead. Yeah, it stakes are good. Yeah, that's great, and I love he's just like
Just covered in it.
drenched in blood. Yeah.
What'd you think, Lydia? Did
What?
you see that coming?
No, I didn't, and I loved it. It was great. I was like, yes, this is like exactly what you want.
The best bit is when he says, "What? She just ate," and then he's like, "Hit her again." Are you sure? He's like, "Well, how much blood could she have left?" And then it's an even bigger geyser of blood.
Yeah, he's totally drenched.
Yeah, and he gives him that little tissue, and he's like, wiping himself off with it.
Yeah, and you could tell it's just in his eyes. Like, I
Yeah.
felt, I felt so bad.
He's wiping himself off, and he goes to hand it back. He's like, "Oh, no, you can keep it." So funny. So, let's talk about that scene, Lydia, that you like, with Dracula trying to, hypnotize Lucy, to come to him. Mina to come to him, I mean.
Yeah. And because the maid or whatever, is like supposed to be staying awake to watch over her.
Yeah.
And make sure nothing happens to her, and she's like trying to like cross stitch or something to keep herself awake, and she gets hypnotized. Oh my gosh. I can't remember like the exact sequence. But it's so
it's just
funny.
When he's like, stand up, and they both stand up. No, you sit down. Then they both sit down.
The best is it opens so straight because he makes her fall asleep. Then he's like,
Yeah.
"Come to me, Mina," and then he says, "Now walk out the door,
Yeah.
Mina.
And she
You are in the closet. Come out of the closet."
walks in the closet. That's when it starts all going wrong.
Yeah. All right, sit. No, you sit. No, sit. And they both sit. No, you stand up. And then they cross and hit each other. He's like, "Ugh."
He's like, be careful.
I will come to you. You just turn off the lights. And then he carries out the maid. He's like, "You will become my everlasting bride." "Oh, that sounds great." "Ah, not you." And you just hear a thump as he drops her. And then he runs out with her. "You'll be my everlasting bride."
The way he says that quickly got me. Honestly,
Yes.
that was so funny. That timing.
There's also a funny bit where we missed with Renfield when he like falls over and stuff when he's having him do his thing, and he's just, I love how Dracula's just outside waiting, and he's like, "Oh, Renfield, you are such an idiot." Like he's just like critiquing him the entire time.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, you just reminded me the scene where they like let him go, so that he will lead them there, and he's like, "I will lead
Oh,
them," and he like,
We'll get there. Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
I know. It just
Yeah.
it clicked with me. I'm like, that one got me.
So when he after Renfield and when they have the ball, when they do the big ball, because the plan is to show the thing. What do you guys think of the ballroom scene? Especially what really makes me laugh. There's a couple things that actually make me laugh in it. One is Dracula, like thinking the crowd's really into his dance moves.
Yeah.
So he's like, "Let's show him what we got. This is really gonna knock him dead." Thinking like he's like the cat's meow. What do you guys think of this scene?
It's so funny. I love
It
that.
is
I
great.
love that. I love that all the dancing is so good.
Yeah, they got like legit ballroom dancers. You can tell.
Yeah.
He's like holding her up by one hand, and he's like, "They're loving it," and everybody's seeing his reflection. He has no idea. And then he becomes legit scary when he grabs the turns into like feral vampire. And it's so funny. But Derek, talk about when they release. So first of all, they know the reason they know Renfield is with Dracula is because once he jumps out the window, he runs up and says, "Master, master, I mean, Mister."
Yeah.
And I love.
Yep.
He's like, "Well, we know Renfield's with him because he called him Master." And Harker says, "I thought he called him Mister." "That was only a ruse to fool the weak-minded." No offense. So what do do you guys think of the... So, Derek, let's talk about that scene that you wanted with Renfield. They let Renfield... I love the joke prior to it when he says, "You're gonna rot in here," closes the door. "All right, you're free to go."
It was only 30 seconds, yes, but it was...
Yeah, he's like, "Good behavior. I was only in here for a moment." "Yes, but for that moment, you were very good."
Yeah.
"Ah, they're trying to trick me. I'll lose them." That scene's so funny, Derek.
It is great, and I love how they're standing behind the bushes, and they're like, "Luckily, he's an idiot."
Yeah. The little walk he does, the way he does it, like...
Yeah, the little trot.
Yeah.
Ah, got him.
Yeah, I thought he was like, trying to come up with a plan, and I was like watching him. I was like, okay, what's he gonna do? And then he's like, "Ha! I lost him." And I was like, "You did what? You didn't lose him?" Led him
So
straight
good.
to the castle.
I love that shot of them of the matte painting, and we see like an old school matte painting, and we see like the the castle, or not the castle, but the chapel sitting on the hill, and we see Renfield, the lone figure, running against it, looking around, and then goes up, and then we see them literally just right behind him.
Right? Yeah. I love
And
it.
then we
moon.
get an homage to the ending of Dracula, when Renfield goes up the stairs. He's like, "Renfield, you weren't followed, were you?" "No, master, I lost them. They're in the chapel." "Punish me, master. Make me hurt." "No, Renfield, I don't have time. Just go. Lead them away." And then finally he's like, "Ah."
Yeah, he just
Okay.
annoys him.
Yeah, he's just, "Oh, okay, that's enough." What do you guys think of him being stepped on as they're going up the stairs, that bit?
Oh my gosh, that was so goofy. That was so goofy
silly.
looking. Yeah, it was
When
silly.
The last guy steps on his crotch, and he's like, "Oh!"
It's clearly just like a dummy.
Oh, yeah. The ending of this. What do you guys think of the ending?
I love the ending. I love when he turns back. He turns into the little bat.
Yeah.
It's my favorite part, obviously, and he flies up to the
Well-
rafters. And go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, so leading up to it, we have some pretty fun jokes. Like, we have, or that scene that I talked about where he is legit, like, intimidating, where he's holding Harker up, and he's like, "And there's nothing you can do to stop me." And then he, like, Three Stooges pokes him in the eye. He's like,
Yes,
"Pow!"
yes.
I think it's a good joke.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
Van Helsing rips the thing off the window, so the sunlight comes through, and we get strips
The
on
board.
him, and he's like, "Ah!" Then Derek, lead us to this ending.
So he turns into the bat, and he is trying to get away, and they're trying to catch him and jumping up. And he flies up to the rafters, and you think he's safe. And here's his trusty his companion, his minion, if you will, Renfield, opens the hatch on the ceiling. Is like, "Master!" And it's direct sunlight. Ah! And he falls down into a flame. But dude, the best part is when Renfield comes back down, and he like, "Master!" and he scoops him up, puts him in the coffin,
Draws a
and he
little
like
smiley
makes a
face.
little smiley face. "You're back. You're almost your old self."
I love that. I also love how when he's following, he goes, "Renfield, you asshole!" Yeah, the
Oh
smiley
my
face
gosh.
actually gets me. It makes me laugh so much because I'm like, that's so fucking. He's like, "There, master," and then he's like, "Renfield, you're now your own man. You can no longer have to follow anybody else's orders." "Yeah, you're right. I am my own man. Come along, Renfield." "Yes, master."
Yeah. Or Van Helsing opens up the casket one more time to get his last word in.
Yeah, because there's that running bit between them where
Yeah.
he's like, "I see you're a man who likes to get the last word in. I, however, will not be drawn into such childish games." Oh,
Yeah.
so they do it back and forth. And then the funniest is after Dracula leaves, and then he walks by the window. "Breshka." It says, that makes me laugh every time.
Yeah.
bit.
Oh my gosh.
Another bit that we didn't talk about that's pretty funny to me is when the brides, we get the Bram Stoker's Dracula's brides, and they're like trying to sex him up. The funniest part about the whole scene is Dracula walking through, the way Leslie Nielsen just is walking through like he's minding his own business, and he glances up and he comes back. Is so funny. It legit makes me laugh so hard because he's like,
I really like when they're like he's like, all right, go, like, leave me to him, I'll make him my slave, and then he like tells them to go, and they're like, ooh, like scary song playing, and he's like, and stop that, and they're like, oh, and they like walk away like they're like all floating like magically, and then they're just like,
oh.
yeah, that got me a little bit. I'm just
It's a good
walking
bit.
like that.
It's a good bit.
It's terrible. It's so stupid.
Yeah, that's what makes
what
it
it
great. That's what makes it great. It's the part.
Yeah.
So, anything else that we missed?
I don't think so, and that's one of the reasons why I asked you if you were a Mel Brooks fan, or you liked Leslie Nielsen, because like this movie could be taken in one of two ways. You could see the humor, and like it's childish, and it's you know what I mean, but that is the that's the what's the word I'm thinking of?
Style.
Like that's what makes it great.
Yeah,
is
yeah.
The humor, and so you could either look at it and be like, oh my god, or you could look at it and be like, I totally get it. Anyway.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting watch for me because I watched this by myself. I usually have Jake to watch them with me, and he had a headache, and I was like, oh no.
He would have loved to watch this with you, by the way.
I know. And he was like, man, I do want to watch it, but my head hurts so bad. And I was like, man, this is going to be a lot less funny watching this by myself, to not have someone laughing with me. So I pretty much just sat in silence, and I just like laughed a couple times out loud. But like talking to you guys about it, I'm like, these jokes are so silly and so fun, But yeah, it's definitely a very specific type of humor.
It is, yeah. What do you guys think about it? What do you think, Derek? Lydia, whichever one wants to go first.
I have no idea what to rate this movie.
Yeah,
so, I am.
It's
sure
hard
that,
from a horror scale. It's impossible, but
yeah, I mean, you grade something like this on a curve, obviously. So
yeah, on your enjoyment, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, which I mean, it's kind
and
of
if you'd
the whole
recommend
point.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm sure. I mean, I know cinema existed well before Mel Brooks. If there were a king of satire, I mean, he's got to be up there. He's so great at what he does, and like what he brings that like
the parody genre, especially. Yeah, he kind of invented it, and then Airplane kind of refined it.
Yeah.
So you have both of them combined together.
When did Airplane come out?
1974, something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe no, 79. 79, I think.
I don't know how this movie plays out if you don't have some of this
1980
cast. I think that. Yeah. It had to be around there because, like, I remember being a kid watching Airplane.
Oh yeah, I watched it all the time.
But I don't know if you like. There are certain actors in this movie that if you take out, I don't know if it's the same movie. I think it was so well cast for what they were trying to do, and obviously Leslie Nielsen is just an absolute legend. And his serious comedic style is just so good. It is really hard to rate this movie. I can't wait to show Clark something like this, because he's just gonna, especially young, he's gonna totally like love the humor and the slapstick, like the coffin scene. We didn't talk about it, but like when they're on the Dementor and they're going across the sea, and he's like,
yes.
And Renfield goes and tries to like re-secure him, and he's like falling all over the place. I'm like, man, he's gonna get killed for real.
There's
coffin's gonna.
There's also the great bit where he raises up out of his coffin and like
and he hits
smashes his head on the chandelier.
Yeah. Like, I know that when Clark watches that in probably next year, that he is going to laugh hysterically because that is just gonna get him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this movie, I'm gonna give this movie an 8. It's a classic movie. It's just I can't wait to share it.
What do you think,
I love
Lydia?
that. Yeah, I think I'll have to go with a 7. Um, I think it's like really well directed, and I think like they nailed it with what they were trying to go for. I mean, like I definitely felt like every bit of the parodies of Dracula were there, like the spider web and the shadows and like the lines from Dracula. Like I really, really enjoyed all of that. So, and it's so silly, and I would definitely love to watch it with like a group of people that we could all laugh at how stupid it is. But it's one of those.
Yeah.
So.
I like I told you guys, I have like a nostalgia for this because I remember I was right into my Mel Brooks phase when this movie came out, and I was a huge Leslie Nielsen head, so I just was like, this was like the combining of my worlds, The parody masters are together. And I've always had love. It's not Mel Brooks' best movie. I mean, that's debatable what that is. I think it's probably Blazing Saddles. There could be, you could go with Producers, you could go Spaceballs, and High Anxiety as well, even a silent movie. But Young Frankenstein is probably my personal favorite because it's a perfect parody of Frankenstein. But I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's solid. It made me laugh more this time than it had the last time I watched it. Probably of like just the mood I was in, it kind of just hit. Plus, I had Connor with me, and I was holding him and watching bits of it. So like, and I also had Sarah over there that was just like, is this movie still on? And like she hates that style of comedy. She doesn't think it's funny, and I think it's the best. So like, she saw Leslie Nielsen. She goes, "Oh, I hate this guy's movies."
What?
She doesn't like parodies. She doesn't like stupid comedies. And I was like, "What are you talking about? These are the best." So yeah, I'm gonna give it a 7 as well. I think it's really fun. Some people like don't think it's very funny. They don't like it. And like I said, I think it's probably one of Mel Brooks' weaker movies. But I think all the jokes land for me, especially this watch, and especially if you are a lover of Dracula and a lover of vampire movies. Apparently we are, if we've watched 4 of them in a row now. So
Yes.
This is like becoming a vampire podcast. But yeah, 7 for me. You guys should see it. Let us know if you like it, if you think it's funny, and what your favorite scenes are, because there's a couple of bits that like literally had me laughing out loud. Like I said, him hitting the floor always gets me. The blood scene really got me this time. With the paper cut one with it just makes me laugh.
Renfield made me laugh so hard like the whole time.
Just Leslie Nielsen's. There's certain little things Leslie Nielsen does made me laugh. Like I still really love the, for that no tip. No tip? Oh, that you heard. Just makes me laugh the way he delivers that line. It's so funny. So yeah. So guys, this is going to be wild. But we've got to Atkinize this movie. Who would Tom Atkins play in Dracula Dead and Loving It?
Thrill me.
Oh.
I don't.
Jonathan
man,
Harker.
I don't know.
There you go. You don't like
Okay,
that
I'll
guy
go
that
with
played him?
yeah.
I like Steven Weber. Yeah, it's just Harker's kind of like in the movie. He's kind of an underwritten. They purposely did it because it's the role that David Manners has in, Todd Browning's Dracula. You know, because in
Keanu Reeves.
In Stoker's version, Keanu Reeves the version, and in Stoker's version, Jonathan Harker's our main, he's our lead, and in Francis Ford Coppola's version with Keanu Reeves, he's still our lead, and he still is part of all the action, and he goes through some stuff, so he's like a fleshed out character. In the original one, he's literally just the straight love interest. That's just like, well, mighty fine there. Oh, look, there's a wolf running through the world. Did you see that? And says stuff like, yeah, like a madman. I've got all of his
Yeah.
lines memorized. I've seen Todd Browning's Dracula too many times. That's another reason I love this movie so deeply. Is I've watched Dracula so many times. So guys,
Yeah.
it's my pick, and here's where it gets interesting.
Okay.
So, we could do a couple different things. Well, I'm not
Okay.
going to do another comedy, like another parody yet, because I don't want this. This is not a comedy podcast, obviously. It's a horror movie podcast. But I will say, Mel Brooks's Young Frankenstein is not far away. Probably, we have to hit it up. So with Vampire Week or month, whatever the hell it is now, we could continue on for one more movie since Derek has never seen it, and give this movie more context by watching Todd Browning's 1931 Dracula. Or I could pick something else.
I would never say no to watching Dracula.
What do you think, Derek?
I mean, it's your pick. You do.
Should we...
Honestly, I was thinking that I can't believe we haven't done Dracula. We did this movie before we did Dracula.
Yes,
Like, what is
and I was like,
happening?
we should have done it backwards. We should have totally done
Yeah.
Dracula last week and then this week. But Derek picked this movie, and then I was like, oh man, maybe we should do Dracula. So some of these jokes land actually.
You
Yeah.
know,
Which-
there's some. It would be kind of poetic to do that, especially if we ended our run of vampire movies with the one that.
So I will pick
started
Dracula
them all.
only if we promise that this is the end of vampires for a while.
Uh,
I mean, can Lydia really
would-
make that promise?
yeah, I mean, there's so many.
Yeah, but I think we should end the run of vampires for a while with Bram Stoker's Dracula, and then once we go
About
back to vampires,
Nosferatu?
we'll hit up Fright Night Part 2. So is that what you guys want to do? You want to do
It's up to
Todd
you.
Browning's Dracula?
Up to you.
Well, I asked you guys for a reason. What do you think?
I think you should do whatever you want to do.
Oh my god, I mean, say some stupid shit like
I
that.
feel like Coming to America. What do you like? Whatever you like.
Yes. But you know what? I was thinking about, we've done so many vampire movies, just in general. We've done Children of the Night, of course.
Vampire in Brooklyn.
Our
Vampire in
favorite.
Brooklyn. We've done Fright Night. We've done, obviously, these ones here, these four.
Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Bram Stoker's Dracula. We've done quite a bit of vampire.
Mm-hmm.
There are so
Wait,
many.
wait.
There's
Yeah,
so
there
many
are.
more.
There's so many more.
Vampires
so-
versus
Nosferatu.
aliens.
Yeah, oh yeah, there's Nosferatu, of course. There's tons and tons and tons of vampire movies.
What
We
did
have
you just
all
say,
of the Hammer
Derek?
Dracula.
Vampires versus aliens.
The hell
I
is
think it's a
that?
movie. I think it's a
It
real
is a
movie,
movie.
unfortunately. There's definitely
Yeah, you know.
one called Blood vs. Wolves, which is vampires versus
my
werewolves.
God, that was so bad. That was a bad movie, Lydia. That was a bad movie.
All right,
It's a
guys,
no-go.
we will
won't
end.
do that one ever.
We will end Vampire Month with Todd Browning's 1931 Dracula, starring Bela Lugosi.
And if
Let's
I
see
hear
where that's-
one joke about it being in color or black and white, I will quit this podcast. One.
I mean, you know,
So here's the thing,
if
guys.
you let it slip that it was in color, then it's on you.
then it's on you.
That's fair.
So here's the thing. Dracula is streaming on Sling TV, Google Play. It's free on Sling TV, Google Play. You can rent it on Apple TV, YouTube, Amazon Prime, Fandango at home. It used to be on Peacock. It's not anymore, apparently. Or you can just own it like I do. Do you own this, Lydia?
Yeah.
Thought you owned this.
Probably like 3 different movies
3
of
different
it
versions?
somehow. Yeah.
Yep. So again,
Got the books, I've got the shirt, I've got the
I used
you
to
know.
have this on VHS back in the day. What's funny is I don't have the VHS copy anymore, but before I got my actual copy, I recorded this off of TV on Turner
Nice.
Classic Movies.
Heck yeah.
It was on around Halloween time, and I just wanted it and Frankenstein, so I recorded them. And they looked like dog shit because it's SLP mode so you get the most out of your buck. Oh my gosh! But that's what we're gonna watch is Dracula. Derek, excuse me, Derek, you got a story for us?
Have I told you about the French fry? In my
That's very
friend's
vague.
hair?
Don't know what that means.
Have I told you about
so
the
this
French
one will-
fry?
Paint me in not a great light.
That's
you're
like
in
most
high
of your
school.
stories, but continue.
Yeah,
It is
Derek.
not. No, so like, you're in high school and you do some stupid things. So
Uh-huh.
I was kind of on the outs with a friend of mine, and I mean for a good reason. Anyway, so he.
What was the reason? What was the reason? Spill the tea.
No, my God, I'm not gonna say his name, but so we were in high school. We were, I think, We were juniors in high school, and he was dating like a 6th grader. I didn't know that initially until
They started playing hopscotch after school.
no, my cousin who was in 6th grade was like, one of my friends is dating one of your friends. I was like, who? Which one of my friends would date somebody you know? And she was like, oh, this person. And I was like, and this is her boyfriend. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I brought it up to him. He was like, man, don't tell anybody. I'm like, So anyway, he got a bunch of shit for that. But anyway, so we were somebody. I don't think it was me. Maybe it was me. Anyway, we were getting ready to go in. We were getting ready to.
Somebody. I don't think it was me. Maybe it was me.
Put a French. So he always had spiked hair, and somebody. I think I did it. Put a French fry in his hair. And we're getting ready to go into social studies, and the teacher hasn't opened the door yet. And I'm like, man, I bet somebody could bring French fries into this teacher's room. And he was like, oh man, not this teacher. They wouldn't do that. I was like, okay. So we sat down, and class is going on, and I'm like, hey man, you got a French fry in your hair. He was behind me. He was sitting behind me. And anyway, so I think he realized that I had done it. He punched me in the back, and I turned around, and the teacher was watching this whole thing go down, and he punched me in the back, and I turned around, and I'm like, buddy, I will fucking destroy you. And the teacher's like, everybody, put your heads down. And he walks over to the two of us, and he's like looking at me like, don't do it. And I'm like, okay. It was because it was a football coach. And so anyway, we ended up not being friends after that. And I mean, I shouldn't have done that, but he had his faults. Obviously.
Well, listen.
I don't know what happened.
Look, I don't know. I think it's sad that you and Mr. Epstein's relationship ended that way.
That's terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Lydia's recognition and laugh is the best. She was like,
It took me a second. I was like, you had a teacher named Mr. Epstein?
You're like, oh wait, it's the weird guy that's dating kids.
Yeah.
You guys
Yeah,
have to tell us who
that's
that is off
crazy.
mic, Derek. You have to tell us who that is off
Okay.
mic.
Anyway, that's my story.
yeah.
About
Not
the
that I'll
French fry.
know.
No,
Probably.
but that's an interesting story, Derek. Having fry heads. You know what? Speaking of fry heads, I'm going to tell a little short story. Do you guys remember End of Days with Arnold?
Yeah.
We'll have to do it on the show eventually. But there's this guy. You remember the albino guy, Derek, on End of Days?
Yeah.
with like the blonde hair and like curly blonde hair. Looks like he had French fries on his head. And Joey and I thought that guy was the fucking funniest thing. For some reason, we're watching End of Days and we dig it. We're liking it. It's the first time watching it. We're staying the night. He's over at my house. Him and Moorcraft are over at my house, and we're watching it. And he says, "We see that guy." And Joey and I just instantly start laughing. We're like, "Fucking Fryhead! Did you see Fryhead?" So
You guys did that? Oh man,
it became a meme for us from that point on. We just were like, we'd see somebody, we're like, "Guy fucking looks like Fryhead."
you guys are
Love it.
terrible.
So goofy. So goofy.
All right, guys. That'll do it for us tonight. You can follow us on the line. That's what the adults are calling it these days, on the line. You can follow us online
Who calls it that?
all of the adults. Derek, all of
Adults.
the adults.
I mean, I'm an
You guys-
adult and I've never heard that term.
So are you really an adult, Derek?
Yeah, I
didn't
pay
think so.
bills. I'm an adult.
Look, I don't care
I have a
who
job.
you pay, Derek. I don't care what his name
And
is.
slave
I don't care if
away
it's
and
Ralph.
pay bills. I'm an adult. That's when you
Cool,
know
that's-
your life has like went in the wrong direction. When you grow up and you're like, man, this is what it is. You pay bills, and you work for somebody else. Now I'm depressed. See
Yeah,
what you
thanks
did.
for bringing the whole show down, Derek. I'm going to cut that out so like half of our viewership doesn't drink themselves into a coma.
They're like, he's right. Give me another beer.
All right, guys,
We're
you can follow
slaves.
us online. You can follow us at HiLaProductions.com. Stay tuned. Keep an eye out there and on Facebook at HiLa Productions and on our Instagram at Screen Bloody Movies because we'll have some news coming up for the movie Secret Admirer. By the time this comes out, it'll probably be about a week or two out from this. You'll be seeing some big updates on it because we're almost done, and we can't wait to share the slashy goodness with you. You can follow us each on Twitter. You can follow Lydia at Lydia Spooky. You can follow Derek at DDogbyMaster and me at Racket. Tell us your favorite scenes from Dracula, Dead Loving It. Tell us your favorite Mel Brooks or parody horror films. Let us know your favorite horror comedies besides the best, which is Evil Dead 2. Let us know your favorite scenes. Just open up a dialogue with us. Let us know what you think, man. We want to get in that brain. And then we're going to have Dr. Van Helsing cut it out and give it to somebody and let him pass out. It's going to be brilliant. All right, folks. That'll do it for us tonight. So until next time, when we watch Todd Browning's 1931 Dracula. For Derek Lemaster and Lydia Judy, I'm Jamie Hiles. And remember, if you're going to scream bloody movies.